It's Friday, August the 14th, 2020, and welcome to the reading of the Record Courier. As you know by now, my name is Pam, and let's just begin today's reading with the area deaths. Dwight W. Phillips Jr., age 66, of Ruskin, Florida, formerly of Akron, Ohio, entered into eternal rest on August 7th. A private memorial will take place at a later date. Jean Harris, 96, passed away peacefully at her home on August 7th. Gladys Elizabeth Shaw, 95, died August 10th. Private services for the immediate family will be held. Patricia Ann Fitzgerald, 73, of Aurora, passed away on Wednesday, August 12th at her home. A memorial mass of Christian burial will be held at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday, the 18th, at Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Aurora, with burial immediately following in the Aurora City Cemetery. Well, that concludes the Friday area deaths, so let's just move on to our first article. Sheetz proposal faces opposition in Brimfield, by Bob Gatchins. A proposal for a Sheetz gas station and convenience store is being met with resistance in the township due to its proposed location on the outlots in front of the Brimfield Elementary School. Since the Shipper Group, the property owner, and Sheetz presented their plan to the Brimfield Board of Education Monday, Brimfield zoning inspector and economic development planner Mike Ladd said the township hasn't received formal plans from the Shipper Group or Sheetz for developing a gas station on the property. Tom Weiss, vice president of the Shipper Group, said he believes Sheetz is still planning to go forward with its plans for a gas station on the property, which is about 3.4 acres in size and is located just south of Interstate 76 on Route 43. From our own perspective, Sheetz is probably one of the best operators out there in the industry, said Weiss, a Suffield resident with children in the school district. We did not anticipate this pushback. The school board took no action on the proposal, but school board president Randy Porter said he had received 20 to 25 calls from residents expressing concern about crime associated with convenience stores and bringing it that close to the elementary school. Resident Brady Roberts is among the residents who are not fans of the gas station and convenience store that close to the school building, which houses kindergarten through 5th grade students. Safety, for sure, is my number one concern, she said. Obviously, with child sex trafficking being so prominent, I think it seems incredibly unsafe. Weiss said potential for crime will exist at any business near a freeway interchange and added that Sheetz takes security seriously. They have so many cameras doing surveillance, he said. Just the physical appearance of a camera is one of the most effective deterrents because they know they're being watched. We said the Shipper Group has helped the school district in the past, paying for and installing Falcon Drive as a variety of other infrastructure as part of a tax incremental financing agreement, helping to make construction of the Brimfield Elementary School possible. The Shipper Group acquired the land and built the roadway. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he said. The Shipper Group acquired the land and built that roadway, he said. We paid for the design, cost, and roadway construction. If Sheetz does decide to apply to build the station, Ladd said Sheetz would need to come before the Board of Building and Zoning Appeals to seek a conditional use permit because a service station isn't a permitted use under town center zoning rules. Permitted uses at the location include single-family and multifamily dwellings, banks and financial institutions, food and drink preparation and processing for sale on premises, including but not limited to bakeries, cafes, candy stores, delicatessens, grocery stores, meat markets, restaurants, sit-down and carry-out, pizza shops, and ice cream parlors. Personal service businesses, a variety of retail uses, dance, art, music, photograph, and interior design businesses. Theaters, auditoriums, and assembly halls are also permitted according to the zoning code. Dave Mastrostefano, an engineering Permitting manager for Sheetz described what the station would include for the school board and online viewers. "We're proposing 2 entrances," he said, explaining one would be off of Falcon Drive to the north and one would be towards the south end of the property. He said the fuel canopy and 6 multi-pump dispensers are facing Route 43 as far away from the school as we can possibly get them. 2 pickup windows would be located on the east side of the building facing the school. The building itself would be wrapped in brick and stone facade, the light beige stone extending to the roof at 2 entrances to the building. Board members also said residents have concerns about traffic. Bruce Rinker, attorney for Sheetz, said the station would necessitate a fully functional traffic light at the corner of Falcon Drive and Route 43, where there's now only a blinking caution light. "We think from a safety standpoint and functionality, it will be a benefit for all," said Rinker. For some, though, including Roberts, no amount of desirable features will fully justify a gas station. She said she would like to see, ideally, a library, but acknowledged that may not be realistic. Township trustee Mike Kostensky said he also would like to see something else at the site. "I wouldn't mind seeing some nice offices or something," he said. "There are so many people coming and going from gas stations. Those are our kids and our grandkids." Weiss said the Shipper Group has already held the property for 13 years, adding that the development at the Route 18 Interstate 76 interchange is also slowing development on Route 43. The most likely types of businesses that might want to build there are gas stations and fast food restaurants because of the site's proximity to Interstate 76. The Shipper Group also owns about 40 areas across Route 43 from the school. I bet that's 40 acres. And Weiss said once Walmart located at Route 18 and others started building there, it became more difficult to develop Route 43 because big boxes and restaurants tend to like to develop in clusters. Well, that's a lot to think about. Let's move on. Crestwood's earned income tax could come with emergency levy repeal by Kristen Kano. Crestwood voters may see a drop in their property taxes if community approves the proposed 1.5 continuous earned income tax in November. Treasurer Sarah Palm had previously suggested repealing the district's $1.4 million emergency levy passed in 2019 to incentivize voters to approve the new earned income tax, but then advised against the repeal after the district lost $378,068 in state funding due to the pandemic. She is anticipating the same amount will be cut from this year's budget. While the district has yet to officially learn how much state funding it may lose this fiscal year, recent projections show that assuming the income tax's passage, the district could repeal the emergency levy and still grow its ending cash balance each year. The Board of Education has yet to approve the move, but if they choose to take off the emergency levy, residents would see a $129.24 reduction in current taxes per $100,000 home valuation. Under that model, the district would see a slight dip in fiscal year 2021 when the emergency levy would be canceled, and then a $5.2 million ending cash balance in fiscal year 2022 that continues to grow. You see that steady increase over time, and in fiscal year 2026, we're at an $11.4 million balance, which I estimate would last a number of years past that. I don't see us having to go back to voters anytime soon, and that puts us in a favorable fiscal position, one I haven't seen in quite some time, Palm said. Palm added that a classroom facilities levy will expire in 2022, saving homeowners $15.31 per $100,000 home valuation, and the upcoming expiration of the bond issue will be an additional savings of $54.82. So that's about $200 in savings per $100,000 in home valuation. That's a significant savings to the community and can offset any increases that go with earned income, board member Todd Monroe said. I think it's good. It improves our position to the community when we ask for new money, which is always a tough situation. Superintendent Dave Toth added that retirees would see their property taxes go down and would also not have to pay the earned income tax, as earned income taxes do not affect pensions or retirement funds. In my view, I think is a fair way to spend the tax burden. No one wants to pay more, especially now with the economy, but we also need revenue. From that standpoint, it puts the district in a stable financial situation for years to come without asking voters for more money, Toth said. Given the potentially growing cash balance, Palm said that the district could use that general fund money to pay for building improvements as opposed to asking voters to approve a permanent improvement levy. Revenues from PI levies can only be used for items with a lifespan of 5 or more years and cannot be used for salaries, which must come from the general fund. However, general fund money from an operating levy can be used to fund permanent improvements. Palm said she did not know yet what she would recommend regarding the PI levy. If the board chooses to repeal the emergency levy, it would have to call an emergency board meeting on November 4th, the day before the election, and pass a resolution not to collect. Emergency meetings do not require 24 hours of notice. Palm would then forward the resolution to the Portage County Auditor, who must notify the state by November 6th. From a budgeting standpoint, I'm seeing long-term stability this earned income tax offers in the future without having to burden the community with continually going back to them and asking for new money, Palm said. I think it'd be a very good option for the district, and now that we see the figures, an added incentive with the repeal if the board chooses. The proposed 1.5% earned income tax would begin on January 1st, 2021 and does not expire. It is expected to raise a little over $4 million annually and only affect wages, salaries, and other compensations and net earnings from self-employment. Up next, first Slim Chickens in Ohio headed to Streetsboro by Bob Gatins. With the approval Tuesday of a site plan amendment to the former Steak and Shake site, the city likely will be home to Ohio's first Slim Chickens restaurant. The site plan amendment for 9545 Route 14, the old Steak and Shake site, was unanimously approved with little discussion Tuesday evening at Streetsboro's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Tyler Schofield of Geisen Management Associates represented the restaurant at the meeting and said the restaurant is a fast casual restaurant selling chicken tenders and wings primarily. It's a pretty new franchise. There are about 100 restaurants, he said. This will be the first of many in the state of Ohio. It's a really great brand that we're really excited about. Planning Director John Siskowski Jr. said the changes to the site will be very minor, and he recommended approval. The restaurant chain was founded in 2003 in Fayetteville, Alabama, by friends Tom Gordon, the Chief Executive Officer, and Greg Smart, the Chief Brand Officer. We kind of knew we had something right then when we had guests quickly come back and see us, said Gordon in a video outlining the restaurant's history, which can be seen at https://slimchickens.com. The recipe for the chicken is still pretty much the same one Gordon said he and Smart developed in a garage before opening their first restaurant in 2003. The menu includes various chicken wings and chicken tender meals, a variety of sandwiches and wraps, a chicken and waffle dish, a couple salads, and a variety of side dishes, including fried pickles, okra, and mushrooms, according to the website. Well, up next, 5 men in custody on attempted murder charges in 2 Ravenna shooting incidences by Eric Marotta. 16 days before a 22-year-old Shalerville man was pulled over for a traffic stop that ended with shots fired at officers, the driver is accused of being involved in another shooting in a Taco Bell parking lot. The two men who police say showed up at the July 16th traffic stop and then tried to gun down officers had been with the driver at a house a few blocks away minutes before he was pulled over, investigators discovered. More details are emerging about the two recent shooting incidents in town as authorities continue to investigate. 5 men in their 20s are now facing attempted murder and other charges in the two cases. Kylie Oden, 28, of 510 Oakwood Street in Ravenna, was arrested Monday at the Portage County Courthouse at a probation hearing for a prior conviction. He was the last of 3 suspects in the Taco Bell shooting to be taken into custody. Though the incidents involve at least one of the same suspects, the cases do not appear to be related, authorities said. Oden's home is nearly in sight of the spot where the traffic stop later took place, but we don't believe Kyle had anything to do with the shooting at the officers, said Ravenna Police Captain Jake Smallfield. Likewise, the 2 men accused of shooting at police apparently were not involved in the Taco Bell case, other than through their association with the man the police had pulled over, Smallville said. Marquis Barlow, 22, of Catherine Court in Shalersville, was stopped by officers about 2 a.m. July 16th on Oakwood Street when 2 men drove by and circled to a spot on Diamond Street, according to the police. One of the men shot at officers from the Portage Hike and Bike Trail, which intersects the 2 roads. The gunshots startled residents up to a mile away. Austin Horn, 21, of Route 44 in Shalersville, and Aiden Boo, 22, of South Walnut Street in Ravenna, were notified somehow that police had stopped Barlow after he left the house they had all been at on Mechanic Street, Smallville said. Horn and Boo then drove past the scene while Barlow was being arrested, Smallville said. Austin was the driver of the car that drove Boo down to shoot at us while we were arresting Marquis. They were all at the house at Mechanics, he said. After the shots were fired, the police department mobilized officers armed with AR-15 rifles and secured a perimeter extending from Cleveland Road to Jones Avenue and from Oakwood to Diamond Street. The department also used a UAV drone. Bullet casings were later found near the trail's intersection at Diamond Street, just a few hundred feet down from the trail from Oakwood Street. Smallville said Horn was taken into custody later in the morning of July 16 at the Mechanic Street residence after Ravenna Police Detective Dwayne Cayley recognized his car. Detectives saw Horn's car drive by in the body camera and car footage, he said. When that car drove by later in the day, the detectives recognized it from the video and went back to Mechanic and saw it there. Horn has been indicted on 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder and 4 counts of felonious assault. Bond has been set at $250,000. A trial date is scheduled for October 6th. His attorney, Barbara J. Rogachevsky, said she intends to plead not guilty. He is looking forward to being vindicated, she said. Smallville said police believe Boo fled to a nearby 3rd Street address in the same neighborhood, about a block away from where the shell casings were found. But he was not present when they served a warrant and searched the home on July 17th. He was later tracked to a Deerfield residence and arrested by U.S. Marshals on July 18th. Boo has been indicted on 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder and 4 counts of felonious assault. His bond has been set at $2 million. A trial date is scheduled for October 6th. His attorney, Benjamin Plow, did not immediately return a message seeking comment. After the traffic stop, Barlow was charged with a felony count of weapon under disability, meaning he is accused of having a weapon when banned because of a previous conviction. He also was indicted on felony charges of improper handling of a weapon in a motor vehicle, carrying a concealed weapon, and receiving stolen property. A trial date in this case has been set for October 6th. He was subsequently charged July 24th in the Taco Bell incidents after police say they determined he was involved in the earlier shooting. Police previously said a 911 caller reported 2 younger men had a confrontation that involved gunshots in the Taco Bell parking lot around 10 p.m. on June 30th. Smallville said 1 victim sustained minor injuries. The confrontation reportedly involved two cars, a red car and a silver gray car, which both left prior to police arriving. The silver gray car was later found with a hole in its hood, believed to be from a bullet. The two occupants of that car were uninjured and were interviewed by the police. Smallville said Barlow, Odin, and a third man, Kejwan Colpetro, 21, of Youngstown, were all in the same vehicle when the incident took place at Taco Bell. He said two other people were involved in another car. The passenger in that car fled the scene. Smallfield said he did not want to release further details about that case, and it is still under investigation, but he said he believes Colpetro at least had a weapon and fired. One of them that we know of had a gun. One of them took a shot, he said, referring to Colpetro. It's something we're looking into, but frankly, it took a back seat to the shooting at our officers, he said. Colpetro was arrested July 29th by U.S. Marshals in Mahoning County and is awaiting extradition to Portage County. Smallville said Colpetro is believed to be the shooter at the Taco Bell case, Smallwood said. Colpetro is charged with one count of attempted murder, a first-degree felony, in Ravenna Municipal Court, and a warrant has been issued. He was in the Mahoning County Jail Wednesday pending transfer to Portage County custody. In addition to charges stemming from the traffic stop, Barlow was indicted on 4 felonies related to the Taco Bell incident: attempted murder, aggravated robbery, and 2 counts of felonious assault. Bond for him has been set at $500,000 and a trial date has been set for October 10th. His attorney, Sean Buchanan, said Barlow intends to fight all charges in both cases. Odin has been indicted on 4 felonies related to the Taco Bell incident: attempted murder, aggravated robbery, and 2 counts of felonious assault, which is second-degree felonies. Bond has been set at $20,000, but his probationary bond set following a prior felony conviction has been revoked. He is being held in the Portage County Jail. A trial date has been set for October 6th. His attorney, Eric E. Jones, said he could not comment at this time. Our next article, Maplewood's BOE Policy Committee to meet on Thursday. The Policy Committee of the Maplewood Career Center Board of Education will meet on Thursday, August 20th at 4:45 p.m. in the Maplewood Career Center, Lowell B. Myers Banquet Room. The regular monthly meeting of the Maplewood Career Center Board of Education will follow at 5 p.m. Attendees are required to practice social distancing and wear masks. Windham School Board to meet on Tuesday. The Windham School Board of Education will meet for its regularly scheduled board meeting on Tuesday, August 18th at 7 a.m. in the board conference room located inside Windham High School. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct the monthly business of the Board of Education. Reed Memorial Library Trustees to meet on Wednesday. The Reed Memorial Library Board of Trustees will be holding their August regular meeting in the Jenkins Room located at 167 East Main Street in Ravenna and via teleconference at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, August 19th. The public can attend the meeting by calling 1-661-527-0268 and using the conference PIN number 415-482-465 ? Up next, Portage County Democrats declare racism a public health crisis. The Portage County Democratic Party Central and Executive Committee voted overwhelmingly August 13th to declare racism a public health crisis, following closely a similar vote by the Ohio Democratic Party earlier this year. The Pew Charitable Trusts recently reported that racism is a public health crisis. That is the conclusion of multiple public health studies over more than 3 decades. Black women are up to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy-related complications than white women. Black men are more than twice as likely to be killed by police as white men. And the average life expectancy of African Americans is 4 years lower than the rest of the U.S. population, said Portage County Democratic Party Chairman Dr. Dean DePero. I believe that access to health care should be a right, not a privilege afforded to all Americans. The resolution adopted by the committee echoes calls for the recognition of racism as a public health crisis by many other prominent Ohio leaders, including Senator Sherrod Brown, House Minority Leader Emilia Sykes, the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus, and a growing number of local governments from all parts of the state. It also contains provisions specific to Portage County, including a statement recognizing that predominantly black communities in Portage County have been identified as recently as the 1970s as some of the most racially unequal and ghettoized in the nation. Hank Gibson, a Ravenna Township trustee and the member of the committee who moved the resolution's adoption, said, "As one of 5 black members, I was emotionally moved when the committee voted to adopt a resolution declaring racism a public health crisis. Our goal as good, God-fearing people is not only to reiterate how salient structural racism is in our county, and our country, but also how critical anti-racist work is to the core goal and value of public health. God created everyone in His image. Therefore, equality should be afforded to all, regardless of our skin color." The resolution goes into effect immediately and becomes a part of the party's effort to identify injustice in our community and work to bring about inclusive change that benefits all. Letter to the editor. School should not open in the fall. If the expectation is that it's wrong to have national political conventions in person, or to have sports teams play to in-person crowds, or to have town hall meetings, city council meetings, board of education meetings in person, or to have in-person fairs, festivals, shows, or events, then it's also wrong to expect to have schools forcibly reopen to in-person instruction. It seems like schools are being forced to test public policy concerning in-person interaction. President Trump's own son will not be in public school because the school remains closed. Public opinion is vastly against school reopening. There's not been enough time to formulate plans, nor enough resources to support improved in-person safety issues. The risk for in-person school is illness or death potential for probably thousands. It's not fair to make schools a coal mine canary for COVID. Until a vaccine is discovered, tested, and widely distributed, schools should avoid in-person learning. You can make up learning. You cannot make up lives. Why should our children, teachers, and school staff be forced to take the in-person risk? Submitted by Clifford Bliss of Kent. Well, friends, that concludes the reading of the Record Courier newspaper for Monday, August 17th. Please remember to stay safe and be blessed. Make it a great day.